through the digital haze. Jake and Cody call the plays. Blood on the canvas, sweat in the air. Survivor Series chaos everywhere. War games breaking the walls. Steel cages and battle calls. Into somewhere we dive into the fire. Jake and Cody light the pyre. Into somewhere chaos to review. War games screaming. What's next to do? Bodies collide like thunder's wrath. Tables shatter in the aftermath. Heroes rise, villains take their fall. WWE writes it all on the wall. Ladders crash, chairs collide. Every move they can't hide. Into somewhere we dive into the fire. Jake and Cody light the pyre. Into somewhere chaos to review. War games screaming. What's next to do? War games! When the bell rings and the lights go low, there's a man you need to know, breaking down the ropes and show. Caps lock, all caps rage, names roar across the cage. Pole bars climbing, kill that doubt. Dom goes over, fans black out. Into somewhere, into the glare. War games, hunger in the air. Survivor Series, we don't pray, we swear. Cena versus Dirty Dom. Who will break, who stays calm? Into somewhere, he spares the crown. Jake and Cody sign off cold. Chat still burning, blood and gold. Jake and Cody sign off cold. Chat still burning, blood and gold. Blood and gold. Jake and Cody.
Right in here now. What's going on, ladies and gents? Jake, aka Countdown Ended, coming to you live. Hopefully you're doing well. It's Sunday, November 30th, 2025. We're coming out of Survivor Series War Games last night.
War Games!
It was a show. It was a show. That was a show. We got sports entertained, we'll say that at least. But in the interim, I've got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Cody Oneidi 316 with me.
Give me a hell yeah!
What's up, bud? Hopefully you're doing well today. Glad to have you. I think you're muted, but you should be good now. Yeah, rainy, dreary day.
Last night's show sucked balls. That's all.
See, I don't think it sucked. But I was still entertained. I had fun with it. You know, I enjoyed the time that I spent with WWE Survivor Series. Could it have been better? Abso-freaking-lutely. Absolutely. It could have been better. But was it awful?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know about how I feel about War Games matches. I know some people like this more than Blood, like the basic PG stuff. Like, yeah. I don't know if I like that in a War Game setting. So I just feel like those matches are watered down, and then I'll make it slow paced, and the matches are just in mid.
Yeah, because I mean, you went from the preschool version to the 21 and older, only get access in a seedy underbelly basement somewhere with blood and guts. Like we had the two extremes, the especially the women's War Games yesterday, which typically, as you pointed out wisely, the women's War Games is usually more entertaining or better than the men's. But what's going on? The man himself, Sean's View. Glad to see you here. Hopefully you're doing well. We haven't talked in some time, but you, sir, legend of the community. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's upsetting because they have the hype machine in full spring ahead. They're trying to pump it in. War games. They want us to go ahead and live it and breathe it. And I love the War Games matches, specifically for a couple of reasons. I really like the fact that you can't leave the cage and, that causes you to lose. I always hate escaping the cage. It drives me nuts. That's why you have a cage, to contain yourselves. So the idea that once War Games begins, if you leave the setting, you're done for, just completely and totally screwed. And I love that about it. Yeah. But I also love, Cody, is basically, typically, it brings out a more vicious side of the wrestlers. They get to do some things. It's a bit, and you get some fun moments throughout. You get some type of double play.
WWE, like the viciousness.
Yes, that's more AEW side. But what I'm saying is, like, you see the fun setups you don't normally get, like. Or Braun Breaker getting the, we've seen everything from what he's done and he's never going to wrestle again to saying he's okay. It was just a scary bump, but holy hell.
That's good.
Yeah. So when they gave him the Doomsday device, and that's what I'm saying, like you see things that you wouldn't normally get from the talent because they're working together. So I like Punk and Cody don't often team up, but this is cool. So that's what I like about War Games. You have an unconventional group of allies and enemies and things like that. So
I get that.
You get more people to work with and mingle.
Match for a few years.
I would make it not the focal point of Survivor Series, and because of the issue with having parity, they're always going to want to have
but it's War Games, not Sesame Street.
Well, here's the thing too. Did anyone complain on Twitter anywhere that only Drew McIntyre and CM Punk had a Hell in a Cell match? Last year, Bad Blood, Atlanta, Goldberg in attendance. No one came out and said, this is absolutely unfair. The women need a Hell in a Cell match. Because the story for the cell was all you needed.
Liv could have had a Hell in a Cell.
Could have, but it wasn't like where, this is unfair. We need to, the typical anti-WWE sentiment coming out. People were not in that mindset. They were like, this is incredible because the story called for it.
Yeah. Yeah, no one actually complained, but they said if you were going to do a woman, it would have been Liv and Rhea. But that makes the Hell in a Cell more valuable, right? Because they kept it to one match in the biggest feud. War games are just and what was special about that Hell in a Cell? They
Yeah.
actually tried to kill each other in there, bled.
Yes.
Like the rivalries seemed intense, where you need to be in Hell in a Cell.
Yes. The
War
rivalry
games, they
called
don't
for it.
fight like war games. They don't fight like they're in a war. They just fight like it's just a basic traditional one-on-one match.
Nowhere was
Or a
that
5-on-5.
more obvious with the women's, Cody. You saw it as clear as I did. I mean, there was nothing hardcore or really
You know what? I think
war
that Team
games
Cena versus
worthy.
Team Authority match was more brutal than either of these War Games matches. Like,
Yeah. I want to
these-
say this carefully with you because I did not hate the night. I enjoyed myself. I was sports entertained, but it certainly was a letdown. They really they have a mindset of pushing Lash, which I like. They want to make her a big deal, and that's what you should do with an NXT talent. You know, she was the last one to come out on the heel side of the women's match, and she looked very dominant. That power bomb into the pump kick, oh, that could have ended the match. You know, really, like they did have some decent moments throughout, but like you said, who's just said it? MDB said it in the chat. He's like, AJ Lee did less in War Games than Mercedes Moné did in Blood and Guts. Like,
War Games!
what is up with that BS?
AJ Lee did what less in War Games
Than Mercedes.
Moné did.
I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, what did she do? She climbed in and did the cross body because they held the cage door shut. And then
WWE Y7. That's more like
she got the
That's
Shining Wizard on Becky, and then Kairi Sane started to attack her while she was doing the skip, and that was kind of it until towards the end when they had everybody else taken down and all of the faces are standing there, and it's just like the men's War Games finish with Solo Sikoa the year before. So it's already an ending we've seen play out many times. So that was uninspired and lacking originality. But then the way they even executed that, you had Rhea as Art the Clown being, Miss Terrifier, and this ending, I don't know. So they get Becky as she's trying to escape, and Bliss, took out Nia with the Twisted Bliss. Io Sky took everybody down with the trash can. That's a spot that just has to happen. And then from there, it just continues to be a mess. They got her to beat up Becky, but what did they do? They allowed Alexa Bliss to punch her once, and then from there, c'est la vie. That was it. They let Rhea give her the Riptide, and then they put her in the Black Widow.
yeah.
Yeah, the trash can spot didn't
the crowd
feel
wasn't
big.
inspired by this because even people that went there, Santi Zevin, a lot of people that went there said, no, it was not just a TV thing. The crowd just seemed dead all night.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it was a decent War Games match, but it was just so formulaic. It like I said,
I honestly think I wouldn't even call it decent because this is supposed to be War Games. I know I sound like I'm bitching, but I think it's justified because you call this fucking War Games. I don't see a war where you're gonna
you're not wrong.
Is the U.S. gonna go to war with a foreign country that's been their enemy, and they're gonna shoot water guns at each other, and everyone's gonna be like, oh shit, this is brutal now.
And to clarify, you don't want to see them actually injured. Like that was the argument people had with us with Jericho. Like, oh, you wanted to see him go through solid state. It's like, no, that's not the intent. But
that's what I'm not even saying they need to actually
that.
bust themselves open. Use like those blood capsules, like where fake blood if you even need to. Just the visual I'm asking for, not actual. Don't make them go through. I don't want to wish injury
wrestling
upon
is
anyone.
theater. It's theater. It's a performance. We know this. It's adult Broadway.
Exactly.
Let us have the fun that they have here. Having
just the visual,
we need the
blood.
spot. We need the trash can spot. It's got to happen. We even have the branded trash can.
They just run back every fucking thing every fucking year with everything, like the same faces in the War Games each and every year. Tell me what was different about this woman's War Games and last year's, like Liv and Raquel weren't in there.
Yeah,
That's the
pretty
difference.
much.
Like, but Rhea,
Well, like I said too, they
all were in
followed
there.
whoever produced it. They followed the script of the men's War Games from last year. So pretty much everybody was a non-entity or factor until it was over. Like they gave everybody their minute to shine. You know, oh, you do a finisher. You do this. You do that. There was no story throughout. There was no narrative being interwoven. There was nothing to keep fans invested besides trying to thread spots together. And I guess you could say because Lash got misted, people cheered for that because she got attacked accidentally as she was going for Charlotte. But I could even see Charlotte and Becky having a brief but renewed feud now that their roles are opposite. Charlotte's the face that actually is a face, and Becky's the heel that actually is a heel. You know, beforehand we always kind of got that, but the iteration of it was ass backwards. And people didn't want to boo Becky and they didn't want to cheer Charlotte. So now that we have the full, iteration of these two, let's go for it. The missed. Yes, the missed. The missed its target, The missed the miss.
So please, I want to know, like, genuinely, without me, what am I actually supposed to enjoy about these type of matches?
So I can't argue against you right now. You're right, Cody, because it was not a War Games match, and that's what we're given.
That's what it is.
We've been for weeks now. Everything War Games, and that was the War Games. Had to get there, had to do it, had to have it happen. But instead, what? It was a match, and it was a very.
I wouldn't be surprised if Elmo, Oscar the Grouch, the Cookie Monster were fucking on the creative team for this fucking shit product.
They might have been. I mean, I'm not saying that I want to see.
AEW's the opposite. Michael Myers, Chucky, and everyone else is on the creative team for AEW. You got like two fucking polar opposite worlds with these wrestling companies, and there's no middle ground to anything. This is why both companies just fucking suck.
Yeah.
One company just wants to be all over the gore. Like Tony Khan gets off on blood. I need the blood. I need everyone bleeding. All my wrestlers bleeding.
Too extreme on the one side.
Where's my Coke? And then the other one, you got Triple H, Bruce Pritchard, and the Sesame Street Gang singing "Sunny Day." I'm not.
But
I wouldn't
you're
be
right.
surprised if Triple H is fucking renting out rooms to the Sesame Street crew in his house, or Triple H himself lives on Sesame Street. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Sesame Street Levant.
No worries.
That's what I think's going down.
Yeah, no, but so no cages on the stage. You don't get to see the interaction of the wrestlers the entire time. As I said to you, one of the best things the last few years running was what? The interaction and the drama and the tension between Roman and Punk, or seeing that, right? Yeah, just random people showing up, Give me my cookies. It's time to eat. Cookie Monster has a right to be pissed because it is not a War Games match. And as soon as it started, the match beyond War Games itself, they then went ahead and wrestled, I think, for 6 minutes, and it was over. And that was literally it. So as you said, they were very safe. And it was a bit of a nursery rhyme-filled children's cartoon. They did have Sesame Street in the opening. And here's the thing, though, Cody. It wasn't terrible because it's not poorly wrestled. It wasn't a disaster in that, like it wasn't the Hell in a Cell match between The Fiend and Seth. It wasn't really anything of a blatant extreme negative. There was not one single thing to point at in this match and be like, that ruined it, or that was so bad it took us out of it. It was the entire package. Pause. It was the entire presence and everything. Everything they gave us was supposed to be on this grandiose scale, and instead it was, as you said, as generic as it could be. It felt like, yes, as Coot said, remember the greatest SmackDown ending of all time? That's how it's titled anyways on YouTube. But where every star runs out one after another and everybody's getting their finishers in. It was just like bam, 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 finisher, 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 finisher.
Yeah.
Coot's right. That was this, but in a cage. I mean, who do I sue? I want my ESPN money
if we
back.
get War Games next year, I won't be surprised if we get a fucking, instead of a steel cage, we'll get fucking pillows as a fucking structure. That's what I think about WWE.
I'm not one to react to the criticism, Cody. You know it too. We could take our pillows and go sleep on Twitter because the Liv Morgan thing, we will get into that soon too, because that was ridiculous with fans. But with this, it's like, oh, you're just being negative for negative sakes. No, you're upset legitimately because you wanted war. You wanted a fucking war. You're not asking them to go ahead and punt each other. You know, a couple of kicks to the clam, maybe. No punt, but like really give us fucking.
So I don't want people to twist my words either, because like I don't want like, or your words, because we both did say like this should have some sort of like a color. But like,
but see,
again,
I don't even need the blood. The blood would not have even have made this. Like if all the women were bleeding in the opening match from stupid spots, kendo stick strike, and you know it wouldn't have made the match better. It wouldn't have. Blood adds to the intensity. It adds to the drama. It really. There's a certain je ne sais quoi. There's a certain aura feeling. It's hard to properly describe it, but basically when you see it, it has this inverse effect where you know people aren't supposed to bleed. You see blood, you know it's bad. Your brain gives you a sense of panic because it knows seeing red, you're going to be dead. So it could add to the story, but I don't think it would have saved or cured. You have to look at this as a whole. Like, it was very well wrestled. Everything here was competent. There wasn't a fuck ton of botches. I mean, they had a few wonky spots, but comparatively speaking, I mean, the most I could say is Io Sky, she slipped on the rope, but she still made contact with Asuka. Like, she still got her. Even if it was not all of it, it was still some of it. And I love the chat supporting each other. They need a reason for War Games other than we're in November. And it's hard enough. Like certain branded themed events don't always take away from the product. Like when they were reliant, like the TLC stipulation. Oh, this is a tables match. This is a chairs match. But War Games is special. It's something you don't get often. We get table matches throughout the year. We get, chairs. We get ladder matches. But a War Games, you look forward to it. It's supposed to. I hope they get rid of the damn necessity for it being at Survivor Series and they just could bring it out when it was needed. And
that's what makes Hell in a Cell work better.
That's what made it work better. And the fact that they have not followed up with another Hell in a Cell match, all right? Not that I can recall. I mean, it was a very modern, safe,
well, is there any
Games match
that call for Hell in a Cell
right now? No, not to. I mean, no one's on the level really of how
maybe
Punk and Drew. Well, that's not happening because we'll get into it more later with the men's. But it seems like full steam ahead is Roman.
If we get into that,
and Cody. So. I really want to just like hammer this home. The women's was not bad. And it wasn't because, it was the women's. It was how they were handled and booked themselves. Like they can't get in there and start making people bleed and cracking open chair shots if that's not the match that's been produced for them. You get what I'm saying? So I don't always blame. You can't blame the women. And like, it's not their bad wrestling. It wasn't their botches. It just didn't tickle any spot that they set out to. It didn't excite. It didn't. The crowd had fun being there in person. Of course, you get swept up into the fever of screaming fans in attendance, like a mass hysteria type set. But it lacked significance. Coming out of this, the faces just won. So they beat the women's tag champs that just got those belts with Asuka and Kairi. Now you can say, Asuka didn't get pinned. Fuck that shit. If you lose, you lose. Whether your team got, down and counted out or what, you lost. You lost. So you had the women's tag team champions lose. But I don't see why the faces needed to win here. It was simply break glass in case of emergency. We need to sell. Get out AJ Lee.
The heel should have won because with this, like Becky Lynch eventually had to get her lick back on AJ Lee because AJ Lee has had so much success on her. Like the return match at WrestlePalooza, AJ Lee won.
And
then
the
she
distraction.
cost her the Intercontinental Championship.
Mm.
So Becky Lynch, to build this feud up more, needed to get her lick back on AJ Lee. I honestly would have had Becky Lynch pin AJ Lee in this scenario.
Yeah.
Because I think it would have built their story because they're the only ones that had a fucking story in this fucking match to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, Lash has no story. She's the new girl. She's going up with
Lash
Nia.
Legend. Oh, let's just put her in there because, oh my God, guys, she has a punch. That's why she needs to be in there.
See, I'm fine with her being in there. She needs to be in the match.
About Raquel and Roxanne, who had a story with everyone on the other side.
Yeah.
Who cares about that? Lash Legend has a punch. That deserves anything over story.
I mean, obviously, they're not going to not have Rhea. She's their most over star.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley should
be. But Rio does it. Well, no, but in the storyline sense, you figure it. So she had some feuding back and forth with
if
Asuka.
Raquel and Roxanne were originally supposed to be then Rhea would have made sense in there because she was feuding with those two ladies.
Yeah. Lash has more than a punch. I agree. Lash is going to be a big deal, and they are pushing her well. I see her.
Rhea had more justification to be in the match over Lash Legend because Lash Legend came in out of nowhere.
I'm not arguing that.
In a tag team with Nia Jax that just came out of nowhere too when they were feuding.
Cody, this is a good spot to bring somebody in because hear me out in full. Not only do you have Lash Legend debuting, but she's teaming with the women's tag champs. She's the last one to be entering into this match. So having her lose in essentially her main roster debut, because you can get a lot out of her being in there. This gives her instant recognition, and it shows that she can work with the main event scene and do it well. And every time she was actively participating in this match and not sleeping like they make them do, she looked fantastic. But the thing is, like you said, there was no storyline reason to have her there or not. Granted, they could have changed things up.
It doesn't even make sense to be a tag team.
No, but you can't change that now. We already
all the time.
They did that because they needed Raquel and Roxanne to be there in Dom's match. Doesn't that just tickle your fancy knowing that they couldn't be in War Games because they had to be ringside for Dom's IC title match? So
you want me to try to give them an excuse for something that
fucking
garbage? Who had a mediocre return herself? Liv Morgan, you're not safe from this rant either.
No.
I'm fucking sick and tired of all this fucking mediocrity. I told you Royal Rumble would be the best situation.
John says he buries it.
Folks. But Liv Morgan, yeah, you know what? It was a good return. Like, if you're not going to have her return at the Royal Rumble, have her attack John Cena. That looks amazing. But this fan base was arguing, we need it not so obvious. We need to see it not coming out of left field. We need to see it not at all coming. But
it's got to be a surprise.
Because someone had to go blurb it out to everyone and say, look who's returning. Look who's returning. I'm not going to name any. That's not my business. But so I knew for a few weeks. But Liv Morgan's return was so fucking obvious. You could just see it out of left field. Once Raquel and Roxanne came out there, everyone knew, oh my God, look at Liv Morgan's coming back, and I'm happy she's back.
I'm happy for her because
it's going to make Monday Night Raw a lot better.
I was just going to say,
Morgan, this isn't on you. This is on the creative team.
Yeah, she got to do a thing with Cena. She loves John Cena. This is huge for her. But
because you could see in her facial reactions how happy she was to actually get to do something with this person she idolized throughout her childhood. But let me repeat this 20 times over because the fan base is going to try to clip this and make us look bad. Liv Morgan returning is benefiting WWE television each and every week because her story with the Judgment Day will be elevated now. So thank you very much. Clip that, fuckers.
I don't know. Anyway. Now you got more to worry about with her going on in the future. That's why I said what comes with her going forward. Comes
this doesn't
indeed.
Value her winning a Royal Rumble.
I don't know.
Not devalue.
I don't think it lessens her chances.
Lessens her chances. Devalues her chances. Yeah, that's what I should say.
And her being involved with the Judgment Day storyline again, it doesn't
take me out of context either, sir.
It doesn't elevate Judgment Day, but it definitely makes them still on
Well,
TV
I think she
and
was the main
continual.
point of the Judgment Day. Like, but people.
Well, really, it was
saw
always
Easter eggs.
Finn.
I don't know if you
Finn, it was his group. It was his. I mean, she was
I
the
think
more
she
popular star,
overtook
but
it. Like, yeah,
yeah, but it was still Finn's group,
but
and
I
that's
think
what
she was
we're
the
into
main
at this
character, not
point.
Finn,
I still see
because
it
the
as
stories all
Finn.
revolved around her.
Yes and no. I still see it as Finn's being the center point of it because everything played off of him. I mean, that's how it worked into him being with Judgment Day, and then every
I
member
guess
that
you can go
followed
either
suit.
way, but or
Yeah.
equally.
Back to
But,
my original point, though, with AJ Lee, because we haven't even gotten to the Cena stuff. We're still on the women's. With the women's war games,
You want
they had a chance.
you want to go more on this women's war games?
Yes, because I want to finish my final
boy.
thought before you cut me off 600 more times. I got to go ahead and get it out like you. I want to see something. That's my big review. I want to see something. What comes out of this that gives us anything to look forward to? So are we going to see Charlotte and Alexa just challenge the Kabuki Warriors for their belts again, and that's it? Okay. That's something, but it's not anything great. I just want to see something out of this. And instead, we got a whole shitload of nothing, Cody. Absolutely fucking nothing. Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing.
But people are going to praise Triple H and saying, you know what? Triple H is Booker of the Year, pal. Triple H does everything right, and this is what wrestling should be. That's Sesame Street bullshit.
I love getting you wound up. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Even though this is like the closest you can get to war, though. Honestly, you know what? Maybe I'm being overreactive. Let me say my real thoughts. This was just brutal. I got scared to even watch either of these war games. Like, I was hiding under my blanket.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh my
it was
god,
too gruesome.
This is a brutal war. Yeah.
I didn't know if you could handle
Christ.
it. It's dangerous quick. That's the thing. Like, okay, you brought in Lash. You made her look good, but she lost. She got misted. Okay, her teammate did it to her. So what's the storyline? Are we going to have Nia and Lash instead go and try and win the women's tag titles from Asuka and Kairi? Because Asuka gave her the miss, so now she wants revenge? Yeah, could be something, I guess, but I just don't feel like they're going to go with a heel versus heel narrative there. They've surprised us before, but I feel like them going for the tag titles does so much more, because what does anyone get out of Asuka and Kairi being tag champs right now? They already wrestle well. They don't need the belts. Asuka's much more elevated. I guess it helps
Who do you want
Kairi.
as tag team champions?
Nia and Lash. They can go from show to show. They have no story right now. They're not. They're just kind of there. And the problem with SmackDown is that Lash and Nia are acting the exact same way that Jade Cargill is acting. Lash is like, I just came up, I'm the big deal. So if they're focused on them being in a tag team, then, because you can't just have Lash go right after Jade. That's way too soon. That I agree with. But, I mean, you got to do something with her.
Honestly,
and keep her relevant.
You can call me crazy. The only times like the women's tag team titles really felt relevant, I guess Alexa and Charlotte brought some at first, but like
I feel like they did a really good job in their run.
Jade and Bianca, Alexa and Charlotte, and maybe Liv and Raquel. I think those are like the three that like actually helped those tag titles.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else did anything else with them.
I'd have to go back and look over champions.
But they actually seem
at,
like the most memorable, those teams. Like Jade and Bianca, Alexa and Charlotte, and Liv and Raquel.
Yeah, the pairing makes sense because Nia is the coach, and Lash gets to learn from her. I agree with what MDB said. He said, Lash will get acquainted to the main roster and gets to be a monster. Nia gets to teach her. The pairing makes sense. Her involvement in war games. How does her and Nia not make sense? Yeah.
Oh, they can be monsters together. Oh, just throw them together. That does not make sense.
Well, you have Nia
like
going back to NXT,
possible.
but there's more to it. You have Nia going back to NXT, kind of like, she scouted her.
That one, like, weren't they feuding in NXT or no?
Briefly, and they had. That's the whole thing.
So what makes sense about their pairing?
Hey, she's the legend, and you go ahead and have her give her, the teachings on learning the ropes. Welcome to the main roster. They've done it 1,000 times. I think it does. I mean, you had a start of something in NXT. You continue it on here. Yeah, there are good runs with the women's tag titles. What happens is, though, we get usually a good run, and then it's marred with controversy because either they have to vacate the belts or something happens, and that run is then looked at like garbage. People, instead of having rose-tinted glasses, they have shit-tinted ones.
Yeah.
And they look back and they're like, "Oh, it was awful." Well, you know, we got
That's
really
why
good
overall,
matches.
I don't think outside of the 3 teams I named have any good identity to the women's tag team championships. Jade and Bianca, and this is crazy because the women's tag team titles have been around for quite a few years now, right? 2021 were they introduced?
Somewhere
Something
around
like that.
there.
2019 maybe. Something around that. Like name me good women's tag team champions outside of the 3 I named.
I'm working on it. I'm working
Alexis
on it.
Raquel.
They don't have the list of winners here? That's what I want. Come on, you. There's got to be some type of list with all the champions, right? Women's World Tag Team Championship. Is that it? No, that's not it. Well, regardless, I'll find out. Some more WWE women's.
While you do that, let me rant on Lash and Nia Wire. I don't think it makes sense at all. So their alliance like literally happened out of nowhere, and still there was no build up for it or explanation. Why are they teaming together? Give me the reason why they're teaming together, because without any explanation, I don't think it makes sense like some people might think it does.
All right. Well, let's see here really quick. 2 things. So 1, we got list of tag champs. So we originally had the Boston Hug connection. We know how great that went. The Iconics didn't give us anything iconic. They barely defended it. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Wasn't that the...
I forgot that.
Almost a superhero thing.
Tag team champion. Oh my God, that was awful.
That was nothing great. Kabuki Warriors originally. Then we had, WrestleMania 36 was Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. That was the COVID one, remember? Bailey and Sasha had it after that. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Asuka and Charlotte, Nia and Shayna. So looking through good teams. Here we go. No one ever gives these 2 credit. Carmella and Queen Zelina Vega.
What? They won them?
Skip. Vacant comes up a
that they even won
lot.
them.
They had Aaliyah and Raquel Rodriguez holding that title for 14 days. Damage Kataro, Alexa and Asuka, Becky and Lita, Liv and Raquel.
That was the original. Wait,
yeah, that was 2023. They had it for 39 days. Then Ronda and Shayna, Liv and Raquel, Chelsea and Sonya. It just keeps, I'm going on and on, but yeah, there really aren't many great reigns and many great.
So maybe the 3 I named, right? Jade Bianca had a good reign with them. Alexa and Charlotte did well. Liv and Raquel.
Yeah,
Liv and Raquel honestly might be the best women's tag team champions out of this bunch.
I didn't hate Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, and then they had Piper Niven. Basically
out of all
replace
these
Sonya.
Women's tag team, who were the best women's tag team champions? Out of all these teams you named,
Natalya and Tamina.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Allergies, and I am so stuffed up and itchy today. You need to go ahead and get this rainy, shitty, snowy, whatever weather out of here. Killing me. Yeah. So not a metric fuck ton to say here about the Cena match itself. It was everything that we've gotten thus far from John Cena's.
It needed to be overbooked though, so I'm not mad about
it. It was very good. I know Spaz. I think he's not joking when he said match of the year for this one.
Jesus!
I got to pick his brain eventually. Huh? Yeah, Spaz said something about this being match of the year. Not exaggerating. So
you're fucking with me.
No, genuinely serious. And then you look at it.
He's trolling.
What did we get? I am not trolling. That's what Spaz said. He said Cena Dom match of the year. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here, hold on. Let me pull it up because I can without ruining entire doxing orders and messages. But let's see here. I said, "See blood. I saw blood, so now it's good." I said, "What bad timing?" And then he said today, this morning at 10:58 a.m., Dom/Cena match of the year. Not trolling. He loves it.
I don't think. Okay, back to that. I don't think just because people see blood, it's good. I think people over exaggerate that point, but you have to have a basic fucking wrestling logic to understand that War Games matches should have that visual to it. Like it just seems very unrealistic when it's a TV show saying that they are in a real fight. We know it's not. It's scripted, but there's TV shows supposed to be like they're in a real fight and they're smashing each other through steel and no blood.
Yeah.
I just don't buy it. Sorry, I don't.
Well, you're not wrong. I mean, I see why people want blood, and I'm not arguing against it, but it just doesn't make or break anything for me, you know? Cody and Cena at SummerSlam clears that match. Yeah. There's been better matches than this Dom outing, honestly. This was not bad at all. This was very fun. It was sports entertainment, overbooking at its best. Raquel, Roxanne, they fucked up Cena. Eventually got thrown out. If only Sol Ruca came out and gave him a soul snatcher too,
The soul snatcher.
we would have had everything. And then what else did we get? It was JD and
Yep.
Finn, and then Cena double AAs them, which was a good spot. And he got Finn up and over on top. Like he didn't just like lift. He didn't just throw them off where they landed. He made sure they got up and over so that they landed flat. And I'm like, the power that this man possesses is fucking unbelievable. Craziness. Maybe that'll help. So, yeah, Cena did the fire up and eventually puts him down. And you're thinking that's it, but that's not the case. Liv comes out and triumphantly lulls Cena into a false sense of security, gives him a hug after punching Dom, and then she
I do
lays
like
into
that
him.
spot though where she punches Dom, like so people are like, wait,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
I mean, she delivered a good punch. If you look at it, it looked very good. And, yeah, damn. Even the injury angle was very, very well executed with him because it looked legit. We just had that happen to Penta.
Did you think at first, like,
No, not at all. Honest to God, I didn't. I mentioned that on the review. I said it immediately to a couple of people, to Liz and I think to Paul as well. But, damn, you know, and it's just nuts.
Yeah.
Fucking nuts. And
they did good with it?
they did a great,
I think
great
this
spot.
match- I honestly still think this was match of the night for me.
Well, the reason I say it's nuts because it is crazy. They can't keep teasing fake injuries. Dom, they can do it with lie, cheat, steal, but with anybody else, they cannot fake any more injuries. Especially what we had with Braun Breaker later on in the night, and these almost moments. Like, good.
It seems to bite them in the ass every time they fake an injury on someone.
Yeah.
They,
One thing I will give you a little bit of shit for is that I really felt like Nikki Bella shined last night. And I'm not one to say that all that often, but look at her here. She looked fantastic. No doubt about it. I mean, she's always pretty. We've never disputed that fact, but something about, I don't know if it was the gear, she just looked better than usual last night. I'll give her that. And it wasn't just looks-wise. It was her wrestling, too, that really... It was a damn good, hard-hitting match. And she's doing great at the little things that matter the most. she takes her shoulder and she drives it into Stephanie's abdomen. She's just hitting her in the stomach. And then she gets in her face and she's screaming, "Do you know who I am?" And then she starts raining down those punches. And she's trying to get heat, but the crowd, I guess they just never believed that Nikki had a chance, because I thought she was doing excellent with a lot of the heat moments. And maybe because I'm so convinced.
I guess maybe for me, maybe because it just came after a great sports entertainment match out of Dom and Cena. Like that made it a lost cause, because no one wanted this match on the PLE anyways.
And you were drained of all your
match's story was dead.
Yeah. But, the story was okay for this. I mean, she turned on her because she wants the title. I actually, I think, bit into it a bit more because I
think it was just like the most obvious heel turn coming.
Yeah, it was very obvious, but I bit into it so heavily because I really felt like she had a chance. So a lot of the near falls.
Speculate for Stephanie all the time.
That's right. I'm defending her. That's my girl to defend. Like, Liv is yours. So I'll keep fighting for Stephanie Vacquet's honor. Yeah. These two women, beautiful, whooping each other's ass. Devil's kiss on the announce table was a hell of a nice touch. Nikki ends up getting her back in the ring and she slaps her. And then Stephanie slapped her back so fucking hard. I tasted what she had for lunch. Holy shit.
I think Stephanie's reign needs to start being taken seriously here.
Yeah. I mean,
it hasn't so far.
Oh, I think it has.
Been a lack of,
She's had, successful defenses and she's done well. They just need to use her more. The crowd,
like she has to hold back for these talent on the main roster sometimes, because she's in ring wise, she's probably like one of the greatest next to Io in ring. So I feel like she has to tone it back a lot, because
I feel like she's been taken serious.
Like a standout match.
She got the belt from the vacated spot with Naomi, and I felt like since then they've really hammered home and elevated her as a champion. They showcased her, and I feel like the live crowd wasn't into Nikki, but the TV crowd seems to really, the online portion anyways, is usually
I think she looked like the secondary champion when Becky Lynch was the Intercontinental Champion, honestly. I think Stephanie looked like the secondary women's champion on that show.
I could see why you'd say that. I didn't feel that way personally because of like the quality of matches and whatnot, but
reign was way better than Stephanie.
It maybe possessed more star power, but I wouldn't say it was better. I mean, Stephanie's been putting on just clinic after clinic, match after match of expertise, masterwork.
It's not just the match, though. I don't know. Like a lot of the matches,
not, but
like, they weren't bad.
Part of it.
They didn't hit hard like they did in NXT.
And then Maxine,
and that's what I'm saying. I feel like she has to hold it back a lot for a lot of the people on the main roster, because Triple H has a watered down formula for in-ring wrestling.
So how was Becky's reign better though? When she just faced Maxine 3 times, that was pretty much the extent since she's gotten the belt back. She won the belt again, and then from there she's faced Maxine 3 times.
Because Becky found ways to get out of there with the championship and didn't necessarily have to win the match. Like what?
And there's story you have Stephanie, vying and trying to become champion. She finally makes it there after having to deal with, heels after heels. She had to deal with Roxy, and then she had to deal with Raquel. And just when she thinks she's got someone on her side, Nikki betrays her, and now she has to avenge that wrong. I think Nikki killed it. I think Stephanie obviously killed it. Stephanie elevated Nikki to a stronger quality match. And I wouldn't hate them two working together again, but in some form of a really good stipulation, last woman standing type idea. I think they could do something more vicious to what you're looking for and with more story from my end. I think that she's had a very interesting and good reign for what they could do with it.
Vicious? I don't think I'm looking for.
Oh, I'm saying like, something a bit more heavy hitting. A little more action.
But there's no story with Stephanie and Nikki at all.
How is there no story? She
What's
is
the
Nikki's a legend that came back and she was like, "Hey, I'm
but
going to show
there's
you
no there hasn't even been crowd reaction, and this is multiple crowds with the Nikki and Stephanie feud. Like
You can
MSG
say it's
was
not
dead
over.
for Stephanie and Nikki. Like there's no story besides Nikki. The most obvious thing ever. Nikki wanted to be Stephanie's best friend. You thought she wanted to potentially date her or something with, but then you saw the heel turn coming, and what came out of that? What's the story?
She's now challenging for the title and was trying to get it from her. And Nikki not only is a Hall of Famer, but she is, very well known. This is a very big spotlight for Stephanie. And the story is it's a simple story. Yeah, it's very simplistic, but it's not lacking in the sense of like it's not there at all. She had somebody she thought that she could trust on the main roster that went ahead and allowed greed for the title to change her morals. So now, Nikki turns her back on someone that thought she was a friend. We know how that goes. And then from there, now she has to get revenge. And she got her revenge, but is Nikki
like
done yet?
The most uneventful thing ever.
I mean, they've had stuff happening. She attacked her on the entrance. They had the other interaction in the ring. I mean, maybe because she wasn't wrestling every week on TV, that's why it felt a bit more
Nikki
lacking.
Bella
but
is like so popular. Why isn't this story? And Stephanie is so popular. Why isn't this story over?
I didn't say popular with Nikki. I said
two of the
well
most
known.
Popular stars in the business.
She's got more name value and recognition.
So why isn't this carrying though? Because like they're
just
both
because somebody's known doesn't mean that the fans have to like it.
One's known and the other is very popular, and they're not getting reactions that speak that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not clicking. No one gave Nikki a chance. That was the way they booked Nikki with the heel turn, with whatnot. No one in a million years thought Nikki would win. The crowd in San Diego, all of them as a collective
Stephanie,
unit, went ahead
I'm not
and
saying it's crickets when Stephanie comes out, but even she's not getting the reaction she should either.
Yeah, but this is why I suck enough finishing sentences. But basically, it's a heel turn. No one gave her one bit iota of a chance. It was just that everyone knew it was a foregone conclusion that Stephanie was beating Nikki. So it's hard to get into a match live or at home on TV if you cannot go ahead and expect there to be any threat or challenge to the title. The only reason I ever gave Nikki a shot was because of how much she pushed her sister, and I, wanting to have fun with the prediction, said like, hey, let's see Brie return. At least they do something with it, and now Stephanie can chase again. But if you were in an arena, you would have heard more cheers.
But
it's an open air place too. There's no roof. So there were cheers for her.
The crowd was dead.
Well, they went nuts for the certain things. They went nuts both times for the Devil's Kiss when she did it on the announce table and when she did it before the finish. They cheered for her doing the spiral tap.
Said he went there and he wouldn't blame people because he went there and he didn't think it was that loud either.
Yeah, I mean, this should be one and done, and then they move on. But I don't think they should get another TV match out of it. Like I said, they could work with it, but with the crowd not responding, hey, maybe you do a TV Raw Last Woman Standing, then you completely end the feud, or they just move on from it. But it's been well and competently wrestled. It was a damn good match, I felt like, and especially from Nikki.
I felt like it was uneventful, honestly.
I don't see how you say any of that was uneventful. I mean, the reaction to Nikki was very flat. I agree. She attacks her right away, and we got all those big kicks. She runs her to the broadcast table, and she basically does that huge knee drop. Now Vancouver missed her, so she's selling her name. And that's when I said she did all the shoulder thrusts. There was a lot of action.
Story, just like AEW, right? Like if a match can be good, but why care if the story's uneventful? This is like the same kind of concept here.
Yeah, I just think this wasn't something that grabbed you personally, and that's fine. Not everything will. For me, this worked. I liked it.
I don't think most people like. I don't think it's just a personally me thing.
I didn't say just you. I said you personally. I didn't say just you.
No. Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying I don't. I think.
I said it wasn't something that it didn't grab you.
On Stephanie, so
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
For you, like for
I enjoyed
like a
her.
you perspective, like and Stephanie, like her fans, you'll say it's great because it's Stephanie. And
No,
I
because
do that for Liv, so it's the same type of thing.
But if it wasn't good, I've
Right?
said it's not good. But I haven't had much to criticize her on. All the matches have been damn great, and she's doing what she can with the story she's given. Again, it's not on the talent. I could see if the issue last night was
I don't
that
think most
Nikki's
matches stood out, but like give me like but again, I've said Stephanie is probably the best like in-ring wrestler outside of EO on that main roster.
yeah.
So I think she's toned it back like a ton for these women because how the main
Hey,
roster.
I
has a
forgot my
different-
point, but now you might be right. So getting into the men's war games, this had so much ego in it that was a massive problem long before the match started. So WrestleVotes reported that creative contention was abound. The entrance order for the men's War Games match caused a lot of issues. With the amount of star power in play, they had several different scenarios mapped out. Yeah, I know. I got to keep a notepad in this way because I forget what I'm going to say next. But I confirmed that there was indeed fighting in the lobby, after people were lobbying and using politics to involve the superstars in the match. Unbelievable, Paul said. He said, one of the most star-studded war games I can recall. When you have Roman, he names off everybody, all these people that are putting things out there, you can see the competitive nature. The lobbying, the politics, the backstage tension tonight, you can cut it with a knife. It was epic. You saw that in people's performances. I mean, this is what Triple H said himself on the after show. Like that's insane that he even acknowledges that they're fighting in the back over who comes out when. But yeah, apparently there was a lot of tempers flaring and people were really, really upset. And to me, it seemed like the match order was about as predictable as it could be, no? With how they had people come out.
Yeah, I think that it was very predictable. I knew who was coming out right after the other. I called it each fucking entry order. I'm like,
Yeah.
Drew's coming out. Oh, Cody Rhodes is coming out. I'm like, all right, this is just so fucking easy to predict.
Did anyone truly, honestly believe that Roman and Lesnar were not going to be the final two? I mean, I felt like that was far more of a foregone conclusion than anything could have been. Yeah. I don't think it worked for it, but here we go. Yeah, no one gave a shit. Sadly, one of the noteworthy spots in the match is that who has him up? Cody. Cody has Braun Breaker up on his shoulders, I believe it is. So
Yeah, I believe so.
yeah, Cody's got him up, and that's when Punk goes off because Punk was the first man in. Punk goes off the top rope. They do a doomsday device, so a flying clothesline, and Breaker lands on his neck, like on the back of his head and his neck. Punk freaked the fuck out and immediately concerned. And then, I mean, Cody was just kind of like working on Drew, and they're both over there staying away from Breaker as he gets checked on. So they replayed the spot a few times and he seemed okay. But damn, that could have been catastrophically bad. I mean, you noted then it was brutal. We were like, oh shit, like hopefully that doesn't kill him because Brian Alvarez said, so they almost killed Braun Breaker. They tried the doomsday device, but he did not flip over and landed right on his neck. Thought the guy was dead. Meltzer says he's fine. They evaluated him and they checked him and he was all right. That's what they said. And then Meltzer said, well, I don't want to say fine, but he's fine. So right now, we don't know if there's been any other development or, some type of something to let us know about Braun Breaker and how's he doing. So this was very risky and very scary to see, and I hope he's okay today, because we've seen people in those spots before, Cody, like in Austin and others, where it happens and then they're able to finish the match, and then when they get backstage or even later on, that's when this kind of sets in. So I'm going to try and super slow-mo and not get screwed for it. Well, but I just want to commentate on, hold on, where'd we go? Uh-oh. I gotta reverse it. There we go, copyright machine. So when you look at each spot here, Punk gets a little bit too low. He didn't hit him up high enough. And I don't know if that was because Punk didn't get enough of a jump, or Cody had him too far away. See? Like he's got a lean, so he jumps forward and he misses the clothesline. He's not high enough to hit Braun. So now Braun just gets taken backwards. And you see right here, Punk has his arm kind of taken and pulled in. So Breaker is now going backwards, and you can see it. So now Punk's basically with his other arm here, pushing him down into the mat while Breaker attempts to do a full rotation. So he knows he's going. He's trying to get himself up and over. And that's when he goes right down on the back of his neck. So bad there. I mean, you can see 1, 2. His neck pushes forward. And that's what's bad, both in the C5, but also in the C1, because what you're doing is it's the impact is compressing the spine, but then the reverb that's felt throughout is what causes the bulging and the breaks. So really scary landing. Now he folds up like an accordion and then rolls himself off, and you see Punk right away just being like, uh-oh, that is not a good thing. So I hope he's okay. Poor Braun Breaker, though, that really sucked. And it happened so early on, too, in this match that it's damn unfortunate, Cody.
I think he will be fine. I'm no doctor, but if there was more wrong to it, I think they would have came out with it. But yeah, like stuff like that is just scary, and that's why I'll never call wrestling fake.
Yeah, no shit.
They have to take these.
Now they're saying the reported plan is for CM Punk to defend his World Heavyweight Championship against Braun Breaker at WrestleMania 42.
Shit.
How do you feel about that?
Just seems expected. Just seems like they're just gonna go with the most simple shit ever.
See, maybe I'm a fool, which I know I am at times, but I had hoped and kind of saw at first, hey, look, this is kind of an interesting development in the way things were developing. We had, I thought Punk and Roman and Cody and Braun maybe on the horizon, the way they were interacting with each other in the match. And I don't know, seeing Cody and Roman again, they're 1-1. I guess they want to finish it at Mania. Braun Breaker and CM Punk is excellent. I am about that. But does it really need to go all the way to Mania? I mean,
it just seems like they want to play it safe, which seems like a lot of WWE fans tend to enjoy about the product.
I had you more riled up about
play it safe.
Everybody else with the women's. Now, come on, where's that fiery passion? Bring that AEW energy.
I don't want to cut you off.
Oh, I'm teasing you. It's funny. I genuinely, I tell you more often than not, if you don't cut me off, you're not doing your job. So I am genuinely not excited if it's going to be Cody and Roman, right?
Kill me. I can't hear you.
So I wonder, and A young fan with brain cancer received handshakes from Lesnar, Logan Paul, Braun Breaker right after the match. No characters, no kayfabe, just respect and compassion. See, that's the things that make me love wrestling. But Braun Breaker's entrance, I mean, sounds great. He looks great. He's got it. You know, he does. I don't think it's a bad idea to have him and Punk, but I almost preferred him and Cody and Roman and Punk. I don't know. What would you have preferred?
Wait, did you say Roman and Punk?
Yes.
Or, I think that, I guess, has more story to. I would have gone Cody and Punk, maybe.
Yeah.
Since they forgot about Orton, because I don't know where Orton has been. But, yeah. Orton is just forgotten about these days in Sesame Street WWE.
Exactly. Like you said, get that Cookie Monster
But this
back out
company's
here.
on fire.
Yeah. I mean, Cole said it too. You know, they were 3-0 in War Games matches on the face side with certain of them. Like it should have had more of a big deal for them losing this. There should be more gravitas, more of a statement. They really need to make it something. And I just I don't know. This doesn't feel super exciting. We've done Cody and we've done Roman. What is left to see?
Nothing. But, you know, it's WWE we're talking about. Play it safe. Everything's great. People love it.
That's kind of the thing. And I don't know if it's really WWE anymore. It feels like it's just TKO because since they've taken over.
I think they abducted Triple H by aliens and and shoved the soul of his father-in-law into Triple H, and then Triple H is booking like Vince now.
Yeah. And what did we say? It was 3 minutes for each one. So it's 8, 16, 24. And then one of them's 5. So we got 2 more minutes.
Tell me that doesn't sound like the most Vince McMahon Mania match ever. The trifecta, pal. Roman versus Cody one more time.
It for once in a lifetime, thrice in a lifetime. It absolutely feels like, because we saw it with Lesnar and Roman so many times, and the fans turned on it and didn't want to see
Mania
it.
too.
Yep.
John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. That sounds like a Vince McMahon main event, no?
Yeah. The thing is, I don't know, but I'm really starting to see more about TKO and how they're handling things. So the TKO issue here is like, you know, Vince did things for a long time, but the one thing he didn't do was promise something that's not able to happen. He was very mindful of those situations. So the thing is, they don't give a shit anymore, and they want to tease everything. They want to make fans go nuts on social media being like, can you believe they teased, you know, Roman and Punk, and then they teased Cody and Braun, and because you get this face-offs, they want that kind of interaction, but they are not going to deliver on 9/10 of it. Everything they have planned for the future is based on moments. They want moments to happen so that they trend on social media and people go, wow, I didn't see that coming. How amazing. They don't care about why you need, like Vince with War Games, like he would typically be like, oh, this is why we need to turn into Raw. This is why, like, there's something left over. Is it the mystery star that needs to be revealed? Yeah, that plays into the match. But I feel like that also ruins the entire point of the War Games match. That's the same thing as ending the Hell in a Cell via DQ or ending the Hell in a Cell due to interference with Lesnar coming in. Remember, Lesnar destroyed Roman and Braun Strowman, and that's how it ended?
Yep.
Fucking abysmal. I'm the one that's getting myself more angry. What's going on to the X-Files in the chat? Foxy and Mulder. Where's Scully? I just wonder. I mean, is this truly what they're going to give us? because Cody and Roman, for the third time in 4 years, the rubber match doesn't mean anything. CM Punk got pinned by Braun Breaker. At least that has an option. Yeah, the cage is a hypothetical door is shut, you know? I worry, Cody, because night 1 and 2 of Mania, they're back in Vegas, but this does not feel. Remember when we've been hearing them the entire time? Back in the saddle again. Back in the saddle. We literally are. We're redoing Cody and Roman. What is left to cover? I don't see the necessity of any of this. It's baffling, especially because they still have Roman in this pseudo face role that's not really a face, and he's not a tweener. He's the same asshole he was. He's just cheered for instead of booed. I'm telling you, my friend.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything ground. You know how Triple H will say tomorrow's Raw because, like, you know,
Yeah.
CM Punk and Roman Reigns fist bump, Liv Morgan return. Like, tomorrow, the foundation of WWE changes forever. It's
Exactly.
gonna be great.
It's gonna be,
and all the fans will like it.
They want to tell you who to cheer for. All right, fine. We don't get to pick anymore. But now you see what they're laying out. They want their moments, their plan going forward. Because if they really cared about Cena, the retirement tour, all of this, it wouldn't be at a Saturday night's main event. That is a planned moment that they moved to DC to get political involvement with.
Roman Punk, Roman Cody, Punk, Braun. Where do you think Stephanie Vaquer goes from here?
Oh, that's another one that I'm. She facing Nikki on is not a great idea. Like I said, maybe one more, but
because Raquel wants the title, right? I don't know if they're gonna run that.
I don't know.
Liv back, do you think Liv's gonna step up to Raquel saying, "Well, I want the title"?
I think we may.
Or is she gonna do that to Roxanne?
Yeah. Do we see?
Is she gonna do that too?
I'm not sure yet. I think I see Raquel still being more friendly, but on Roxanne's side. So
trying to see
kind of a snaky
where all these
two-faced.
stories lead us until Rumble, at least right now. Like, so with Cena obviously has one more match. Where do you think this goes for? Should I do the women's war games or where do you think this league goes for? I'm trying to think of an order to do here. Liv and Dom, then.
Yeah,
then we'll do Becky, AJ.
Yeah, because that's the problem with this one. It's the tale of well, it's the story of a return with two tales to tell. So are they doing?
This is why Jake has said that, like, he doesn't think like, it was a nice return, like Liv got her moment with Cena,
but it was I'm
sure she just enjoyed, like, getting to hug Cena, like her childhood hero. Like, I think it just meant the world to her to be in there with Cena.
You nailed it.
But like but what does this benefit her more in the long run, returning now rather than Rumble?
I think it does hurt her a little bit. And then on top of it, I don't like seeing Cena lose. I mean, I understand we didn't want to see Gunther,
I guess
go
they
up
played
against
it well,
the IC belt.
Because he couldn't catch a break with any of the Judgment Day crew. Like Raquel and Roxanne went at him first, and then he got out of it again, then got on Dom's ass again, and then JD and Finn came out, and he had to take care of them. So he thought, all right, now we're settled. Then Liv's music hits, and you see his facial reaction.
We as fans had like 3 requests for all of it, Cody. Basically, we wanted to not boo Cena. We wanted to cheer him. Nobody wanted to treat him like a heel. We wanted to see him, wrestle both a mixture of new and old, fan favorites and wrestlers and stars. We wanted to see a total, mix up of everything. And then we just wanted to go ahead and give him a proper send-off. It's those 3 things. And they made us boo him for months on end. They've rushed everything. Yeah, I feel like having him lose doesn't hurt it terribly bad.
I want to be John Cena's final opponent, but he just lost 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a Dom, and granted, no matter how you line it up, yes, they cheated. They had everybody in the match. I get it. But come on.
So where does this lead Dominic Liv, are they going to be in Judgment Day for long? Because this is an Easter egg. Someone just pointed out on Twitter. I don't know if this is always. Maybe I'm not that big of a fan. Then apparently, according to someone, but like, because I asked this, like, does she always have the Judgment Day logo on her Titantron when she comes out, Liv?
I believe so.
Or was that just I thought when the group came out? I didn't know because people said she didn't have it on her Titantron last night.
I thought she did usually, but that is a very interesting.
I see. That's why we're gonna get the monitor and PC, folks, because this is why the cutting off happens. I think there's a delay between them.
There is on mobile, but that granted is just me teasing you. No, I'm stuck on the fact. Hey, what's going on, Mohammed? Hopefully you're doing well today. Having a happy Sunday.
Tensions immediately on Raw, or are they going to be like?
That's what I said.
That she's back.
It's the tale of two stories with her. One, it's. Are they going to do like focus on her? Is she going to be going for the women's title and having her own motivations? Or as it seems now, is she just Dom's girlfriend and they have to do the Judgment Day fallout? Like, no matter what, they have to get to something with the Judgment Day. But does that take precedence now over?
That's why they had Raquel say she's going to be in the Women's World Title feud. Because if Liv's also going after the Women's World Title, then does that cause tension between Liv and Raquel? Because Liv's going to be like, well, I want it. So where do you think that transpires between them? Is that what's going to cause their split?
Possibly.
Or is it going to be how she treated Dom? Like, Liv's going to be like, I'm not an idiot. I saw how you were talking to Dom.
I think that's going to be more of like, you'll have undertones of like the title and fighting about that. But here's the thing. Yes, having her return at the Rumble
because
is the same thing she did last year.
Get it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But she returned last year in the Rumble. And we saw that. So people are like, oh, if it's the same running it back. I don't think so.
She wins it this time.
That's the thing. And the Rumble is just a good place to bring people back.
She might not win the Rumble now because she returned this early. I think this gets her sidetracked with either Raquel or Roxanne.
Yeah. And that's probably what happens. I think you're right about that. And Dom.
I don't think she wins the Rumble now.
Dom's kind of destined to hold the belt.
I want her to. People will say I'm not a real fan, but I've witnessed this in wrestling. I've been a fan for how many years? I can't even remember. But I think this just like eliminates her from winning the Rumble. I think Bianca or Rhea or Becky win it now because they like to play it safe.
And think about it, her heading into everything, she loses because people aren't as caring about the Judgment Day, so the longer they stay with this and don't push her. Because people want to cheer Liv, not Judgment Day.
They just need to get done with it. I think I would like immediate.
Wipe your hands of it.
But this thing, like I don't even care for the Judgment Day anymore myself. I know it's my Twitter handle. I need to
put them in War Games.
The group fucking sucks, and like the group just sucks. I'm sorry to even say it, but like it really, I'm actually being for real here. The group just sucks because all the time they're in just backstage segments all the time. Who the fuck cares anymore? Like that's why I would immediately wipe away this fucking feud. Have her feud with Roxanne or Raquel for whatever title. I would honestly have Roxanne win the IC title from Maxine, then Liv and Roxanne feud over the Women's Intercontinental.
I was going to say, I still like your idea there. Send them to Mania
IC
where they have Dom and Liv going after the IC titles together. You know, they both hold on to them, defend them.
Roxanne in a mixed tag.
Yeah, both belts on the line.
IC title. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that idea. I mean, at least it's something different.
Would you just do the implosion immediately, like
pretty soon? Rumble? Yeah, I would do it very, very soon. Yeah, his and her IC belts.
It has to happen on a Raw sometimes. Why does it always need to be a pay-per-view? Sometimes you want to watch Raw, right, for those moments. Like, would you have them break up on a payper-view again, like a Rumble, or do you do it on a Raw?
It makes you wonder, right? Like, where do you? I think it's gonna have to be on Raw because they're not gonna wait to the Rumble, and that's what we've got going forward.
I'm sorry, I don't even. Does it sound like a fake fan to even say I don't even care about this Judgment Day Boil anymore?
No, I don't
really care.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's the case at all because I lost interest not long after she got injured. Like finally, like I was fully
had entertainment with her there. Like then when she was gone, it was like
there was a huge difference when yeah, we were coming out of COVID, but Judgment Day was running Raw. They were with Rhea, with Damian
That was their
Priest, with
best
Finn
version,
Balor.
I would believe.
Yeah, when you had the shirt, Dom and Finn and Rhea, and you had them all, and Damian. They were a solid, cohesive, well-functioning unit. They had little squabbles and whatnot, but for the most part, they ran the show. I love seeing Priest cash in, and then they all come out on the ramp to celebrate with him. Like, that was a great moment. There was a lot of very fun, interesting, good things. I like seeing John as IC champ. Him losing the belt, hey, it was a short-term thing. We knew it wasn't going to be a lasting forever. I get what they did.
I'm not mad that lost the belt.
If he didn't turn heel, he likely would have never have won the IC belt, because they did that basically as a make good for all the shit they fucked up with him in the main title. Originally, had he stayed a face, the plan was for him to retire winning number 17. He was supposed to go out, not on his shield, not on his back, but as the real last champion. And they robbed us of that. And I think that would have been the most poetic, Cena-defining moment. Like, it would have, because everything that he's done, everything that he's built to, all the years of him, let's go Cena, Cena sucks, you can't wrestle, every bit of it. Now the fans are behind him in unison, cheering his name, in tears because the man's leaving. And just as you think he can't do it, he gets the belt, he gets the win, he gets the last victory after failing pretty much the entire year to capture the title. Every chance he's had, it's slipped through his fingers. And we get to the final moments of the match, and you don't know, is it, oh God, 1, 2, John kicks out, gets up, hey, 1, 2, 3. And as much as the place is triumphantly celebrating, a weird hush, a quiet falls over the audience, because they know they just saw John Cena wrestle for the last time. And I think he'll stick to it. I do. I think John is a man of his word, and he doesn't need money. So the Saudi government dropping off boatloads of cash to his doorstep, I don't think will entice him enough to make him come out of retirement. He said a while ago, I was not going to add more dates, even though I guess he wanted to, but kind of funny because they pigeonholed him as a heel. I mean, really, they could have said, well, you know what? I'm adding 5 more dates, and people wouldn't have argued. But he felt like that went against everything they did with the heel turn. So we could have had a few more matches and moments. This year should have been an entire best of John Cena in every way. Him working with new talent more than the memory nostalgia matches that we got, and most were not great. Like that Orton match was and then the ending was behooved us all. It was a fucking travesty with Ron Cena, yes, R-Truth, who then gets fired for real. They bring back, and then they do nothing with him. So a lot of BS, a lot of uncertainties. And yeah, I'm curious, chat, what you guys gave Survivor Series War Games as an actual rating out of 10. Stuart said the women's gets a 5.5. Cena and Dom is an 8. Nikki and Vacour is a 3. And then men's War Games 7, overall 6. See, I was much higher on Nikki and Stephanie. Besides that, I pretty much line up with everything. There was no horrible, terrible, too bad moment match segment. You know what I mean, Cody? Like there was nothing that took away from from the overall feel of the show, but it's still just, I don't know. It didn't live up to the hype or expectation that they set before us. And that's really what it comes down to. You were making a good point asking, like, where do we see people? So now I see Punk continuing to feud with the Vision, but I see him feuding with Logan and then Bronson Reed. And then it'll lead to Braun Breaker most likely. I think they're going to do that kind of thing. I'm guessing that even though War Games is over, that they'll have Logan still involved. Paul gave him the brass knucks and all that. They did win last night. So, hey, Ron Breakker pinned CM Punk. I think they're going to do a few things in that regard. Yeah, DJ Anime said there should be another match like the U.S. Title Open Challenge. Absolutely. We had 4 matches on this card. And the 2 War Games matches didn't even take up an hour and a half. It was an hour and 21 minutes and 30 seconds, I think exactly. And then we got, a 20-minute match and I think a 10-minute match all together. And that was it. And that's where we ended. So
I think this was one of the, maybe I'm being a negative Nancy, but this is one of the worst pay-per-views of the year.
And you know what the funny part is? The worst is still like a 5 or 6. It's not like it used to be where it was a 2, a 3.
Yeah, like
2.5.
I don't understand what people saying is wanting all these matches back. That's why those pay-per-views always sucked.
Yeah,
Because Vince and Tony Khan shared the same mindset in pay-per-views. Like, let's have 9 matches, 10 matches.
but they don't have stories planned really. Like we have stories still, yes, but the creative even feels AI at times with how generic it is and how obvious things are. Having a masked opponent come into the ring, someone we don't know who it is, and that's supposed to be the surprise of the War Games match. This will have implications for the future. This is a big deal, and it's going to lead us to pretty much everything going forward. And
So what was the best moment of the night for you? Like, you're like, all right, this is awesome. This is going to benefit Monday's show or Friday's show.
I did like. I don't want to say I like Dom winning, but I like the idea that he's got the belt than just having it A, go to Gunther, or B, be vacated.
So you do like Liv Beck, or you think they missed her?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely, it was a hindrance. They shot themselves in the foot a little bit, but I do wonder where they'll go from here. So that's got an intrigue. Dom winning was a fun moment. And especially with the Liv involvement, the way the fans reacted, that was damn good.
Did she get the loudest pop of the night?
No, I don't think so. Not by a long shot.
And we were expecting a larger pop for her, and I think it's their fault for. Do you think just hitting your music caused that, or do you think she should have like hit Cena from behind with like a mask, then take her mask off, and then it's her? Would that have gave a louder?
I feel like any of her involvement in this is kind of I don't want to say like outright asinine, because I'm not a fan of John losing here, but think about it.
I think you've been on the mindset of, though, like, sorry to cut you off one more time, but last thing, if Liv was going to return, did you want her to do her own thing rather than be Dom's sidekick?
I don't want her to be a sidekick, but she could be with Dom without being a sidekick. That was the glory of Eddie in China. You know, you expected her return to revolve Dom, helping Dom in some way, or I was more thinking that her return would involve the dissolution or disruption of Judgment Day. I figured that would be where she shines. Once we saw Raquel and Roxanne coming out, that sealed the deal. We knew where they were going with it.
Feels rushed. I know people said like 4 to 6 months though, so it's right on time.
Yeah, I mean it's on time in that, but yeah, creative wise, it feels like they hadn't planned for this. They got there at the arena and they were like,
let's get a moment.
She's cleared. What can we do? So here's the thing that I know I'm looking way too far into it, but what killed me of it was this. We go ahead and we get them.
Beck Messenger, by the way.
Yes, we get them to go ahead and pretty much manage to have a plan without a plan. Liv is there. She's at the arena. And she's not coming out as a surprise to Dominic, because it almost seemed like he knew she was coming. Like he didn't act shocked that she was back, it seemed like. Then she got in the ring and he kind of was like a little more, and then she punched him. But So obviously they worked this out beforehand. He knows she's there, so it's not a surprise. They had this plan to distract John and get the win. You're telling me they came up with this on the
So
fly?
were they all in on it though? But like,
That's
here's
what I'm
my
saying.
thing
Like,
that doesn't make sense though, because Raquel, Roxanne, Finn, and JD were all complaining, why do we always have to help you? Then now all of a sudden
they're all
they wanna
helping
help
him. And then on top of it, how did she know they would get ejected? And did she say, well, I don't need to come out? Or why wasn't she out with him? Like, it's just such a convoluted
makes
mess
sense.
when you
Like,
try to think about it.
We know that the four of you will fail, so then I'll come out. Is that what their plan was? Or did they have a hunch, like Liv was there, like then, so they were like, okay, so let's put on our fakest faces to make sure that we don't get on Liv's bad side.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's, and so did they all plan this? And this was the plan they came up with? It doesn't feel like Liv just did.
Right.
Last thing, I know you got to get the hell out of here. What do you think about the Paul Heyman fan incident that happened? We'll bring that up really quickly.
Just real quick, I know it's a kid, and like maybe you shouldn't be shoving kids, but one, he's a heel, and like two, don't get in their way when they're walking by.
That's how I felt, exactly. So Paul Heyman stayed in character. The kid will be fine. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. He didn't shove him hard. It was just like, get out of. And I think he
moved him for security
because he could have got trampled.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think like Punk did this before too. Like I think, and he wasn't intentionally trying to be mean to the kid. He was trying to help the kid get out of harm's way.
Yeah,
get out of here.
See, like he shouldn't be shoving a kid. I agree, and it was a little rough, but it's not like they get so inundated with fans. I don't even know if he said, but yes, indeed. Cody Onidi, 316. Thank you for hanging out with us, our good man. We will talk to you later on. I appreciate you being here.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for ranting with me, broski. Yeah, that'll be a memory for the kid. That's what it comes down to. Make sure you check out Cody and all of his information in the description box down below. All the friends of the channel are there. You've got Liz and Spez and so many others. So we appreciate everybody being there with us and helping us along the way. He's actually got some gaming content coming now that we got him upgraded to a PC. So this video is already claimed by like a viral hog type thing. So I can't play the video clean all the way through, but I can go frames again. So the kid is already being stopped by security here somewhat, and he pushes out of the way of security. You see, it doesn't even look like Paul sees or acknowledges the kid. He just grabs his arm and shoves him back. And then one of the security guard grabs the kid, and he was fine. Apparently, he just got pushed back to over there, and that was that. Not the best looking scenario by any means. It doesn't put Paul in the best of lights. You see Logan at the end there. You shouldn't be shoving a kid. It doesn't even look like he just starts to make eye contact. And I'm not defending him. Like, you shouldn't be shoving a kid, but he pushes him back. I think it looks harder than it actually is, but it's also, you've got camera and all these people coming through, and like, you can touch them, but just don't get in the way. It's not a great scenario, granted, but the kid shouldn't be touching anybody. Kid shouldn't be up there trying to get in their way, in their face. I mean, you got cops blocking everybody else out. So he snuck by the police and the security to get to that point. You could see where they're keeping everybody back. Unfortunately, yeah, not a, don't approach talent when they're being escorted by security. Best thing I saw come out of it as far as replies go has to be this. Where'd it go? Here we go. Yeah, thank you, Cena. Fuck them kids. Yes, indeed. John Cena's got the right attitude there, right? If a kid approached a woman like that, everybody would have been going nuts, and that's gotten ratioed to hell, as a fact. And that is true, and that's the unfortunate side effect of it. So, I'm telling you, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this dreary, rainy, and shitty Sunday, but we've got snow coming up in the forecast, so if my head doesn't explode, we'll have more live content for you throughout the week. We've got more podcasts coming up. We've got the Raw review tomorrow.
War Games!
No, War Games is over. It's the Raw review.
Yeah!
Yeah, the Raw review.
Yeah!
Yeah, we got that indeed. I'm excited to see what goes down on Raw. We'll be live after it gets off. We'll be getting on. That's right. And then this Tuesday, we'll have the NXT review. We'll be live as we recap what's going on after Gold Rush because we're getting into NXT Deadline. So we have the Iron Survivor matches coming up. I know this is one of the matches I'm very excited for. So the Iron Survivor match is always really interesting, and it's a really cool thing for how they do it. So I'm excited for that. We got Javon, Leon Slater, Joe Hendry. That's right. I said his name.
Say his name, man.
Dion Lennox, and who? Miles Bourne. Who? Miles Bourne. Who? Miles Bourne.
I like it. Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. So we've got a busy night there. Iron Survivor Challenge, 5 wrestlers compete. It's a 25-minute match. 2 wrestlers start. Every 5 minutes, another wrestler enters, with the 5th and final participant entering at the 15-minute mark. Each time a wrestler scores pinfall, submission, or disqualifies himself, victim of disqualification, they get a point. Points could be gained even before other participants have entered the match. I always like that. So if you're pinned, submitted, or DQ'd, you go into a penalty box for 90 seconds, after which you get to re-enter the match. The winner, dubbed the Iron Survivor, is the one who scores the most points at the end of the 25-minute time limit. Result of a tie, sudden death. That's right. Sorry, my crusty swollen eye is killing me as I give you guys the goofy Jake vision. I am excited for the men's and the women's. We got Sol Ruka. Gonna have her out there with her whole soul out. Excellent.
The Soul Snatcher.
We got Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, Jordan Grace, and Kendall Gray. And then, of course, our main event, the creme de la creme. No, it's Deadline. Ricky Saints, Obafemi. Singles match for the title. I imagine Obafemi's going to lose, and then he will make his way up to the main roster, but we'll see what comes of it. Wednesday, we'll have our predictions for NXT Deadline, as well as a bunch more updates. We'll be covering AEW Dynamite this Wednesday as well. So it's going to be a great time. Make sure you guys are tuned in. Hit the like button, subscribe. And until then, I hope all you sexy people have a great day, and we'll see you later on.
Caps lock. All caps rage. Names roar across the cage. Pole bars climbing. Kill that doubt. Thumb goes over. Fans black